I started my life exporting American goods, exporting into Japan because I had no money being here. So exporting as a broker. I made a pretty good money. Now I have two kids. I have three kids, but two. They're a good example. Elder one is a daughter, younger one is a son. So in 1980, I bought my daughter Apple IIe machine. You know, Apple C, Apple II, Apple IIe, and then Macintosh. So I bought Apple IIe for my daughter. And the younger one is son. So 1981, IBM introduced IBM PC. I bought him for IBM PC because he would be getting into the business. So IBM PC has a more business application than educational. And then with the Apple machine, all elementary and the secondary education in this country equipped with the Apple machine. Apple, Apple C, Apple II, Apple IIes. IBM came up with the PC in 1981. I went to school, look how this a wonderful machine do compared with the Apple. And the school district, superintendent office, they watch what IBM PC does, but hey, what we do with Apple sitting on here? That's a problem with the entire education of this country. I didn't know this problem. Well, I realized this problem in my family. Because my son, having IBM PC, always spending until 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock in the morning in sister's room. Well, what do you do there? Oh, we enjoy the computer. You got a better computer. IBM PC is better, twice expensive than Apple IIes. Hey, Dad, IBM has great business application, but not as many as softwares Apple does. Oh, really? As a non-engineer, I only knew one thing. That Apple was an 8-bit machine, and IBM PC is a 16-bit machine. Because I'm a non-engineer, just like, just came the idea that, hey, I don't think we can put the 16-bit machine into 8-bit, but I think we can put the 8-bit machine into 16-bit. Plus, IBM PC, if anyone of you recall, first version, earlier version, always had an 8 slot in the motherboard. So I realized this might be a great idea getting into business. Running Apple II software on IBM PC. I thought I can save America's education. I started. I was excited. I stopped my exporting business. I looked around the engineer to hire. I ran into one very bright Korean engineer guy in Korea. I brought him in. I teamed up the team of 4 to start with around him. We estimated the hardware can be done within 12 months. Save about $500,000, the maximum $1 million investment. I think I can afford it. We started. It took 6 years. Why? There are over 100 copyright the patents on Apple machine and the software. There were about almost 20,000 softwares by vendors. Because those days Apple was so popular, we have to circumvent all this. Copyright patent took 6 years. I can tell you now I'm not a smart guy. If I were a smart guy, I would have given it up earlier. I'm stubborn enough, I sticked on this. And my family life rattled. My wife telling me, you should stop it. You're a good business guy, I know. You ran into the wrong area, you don't know. So I ended up divorced. So I had to share half of what I had. My bank account dried up. Credit company took my credit card away. I ended up collecting cabbage that from the grocery store. That freshness is overdue that they have to throw it away. I picked it up, I steamed it, I ate it. No money. No money at all. I had one engineer, Korean guy I brought. Everybody left me. My family, my wife, everybody left me except this guy. Why did this guy stick with me? He was applying for green card with my company name. So he cannot leave. I promised him. I owed employee tax $480,000. Employee tax. That is not my money. That's government money. IRS came. They showed me handcuffed. We came here to arrest you. You know what I did? I made a big speech. I am trying to save America's education. This is what I do. This is how I spent all my money. I'm still stick with it. When this product comes, you will save elementary and secondary education. Always IBM goes to our PC clone manufacturer. Those days, Radio Shack, Tandy was number 2 or number 1 clone manufacturer and the number 2 PC manufacturer after IBM. When they make a PC goes to school, they short, but school cannot buy. Finally, after 6 years of my struggle, Radio Shack came to me. I want to buy your product. Radio Shack, number 2 PC manufacturer of those days. And then 8 months later, IBM came to me. I want your product to distribute. By that time, we all went through copyright and patent. I had to hire a lawyer with an engineer, communicate with Apple. This is what we have. So we are legally free. We notified the Apple. Then IBM came to us. We'd like to distribute your product. So that is how 6 years of miserable life, lost our families, and then being paid off. Thank God I was stubborn enough and stupid to stick on this stupid program.